Hi guys, we are at Maor Appelbaum Mastering Studios in Los Angeles, and we are here with Maor. And Maor, how did you get into the mastering business?
Well, I started out as an engineer, and at the same time I was doing music journalism and DJing at clubs. So I kind of had the knowledge of the side that is part of the production side, and also the listener or the promoter or the guy who deals with the music and the consumer at the same time. Kind of like having the two perspectives, which when you connect together, it's exactly what the mastering engineer says. He's kind of the buffer between the production and the consumer. And it helped me understand how the audience is listening and how they perceive the music and the limitations of different mediums and playback systems. So combining the two and having technical knowledge and some of the artistic, artistic intentions behind it helped me achieve the goal of combining the technical and artistic, and at the same time making it appeal to the listener. So that's kind of sums it up how I think it got me into it. And of course it's interest. You get interested in something, you put yourself to it for as a focus point. So yeah, that's what I think brought me in. And
I know that you've been working with a lot of cool artists over the years. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, I've been fortunate enough to work with a lot of international clientele and also domestic and national clients in all music styles, from the lightest to the heaviest to the most eclectic. I've worked with William Shatner on his latest album, Pond in the Mystery, which is a prog rock album with a lot of really cool and great musicians such as Steve Vai, Al Di Meola, Robbie Krieger, George Duke, rest in peace, and a few others. And I've worked with guitar legends such as Yngwie Malmsteen, blues legends such as Walter Trout, metal icons from Brazil, Sepultura and Angra, Rob Halford, one of the famous metal singers who was in Judas Priest. I did some of his solo albums as Halford and remastered Fight. Worked with bands like Limp Bizkit, Dokken, Armored Saint, Therion from Sweden, Surfect from Denmark. Just a lot of various artists in different types of music. A lot of prog rock albums, alternative rock, pop, hip-hop, too many to mention.
It's cool.
Can't remember all of them. A Cynic, Trepon Impal from France. They're big and industrial. Yeah.
In your mastering work, the System 6000 from Cheese Electronic is a part of your workflow. Can you tell us what you use it for?
Well, first of all, for me, the System 6000 it's kind of like, it's a big system that has a lot of small components that make it up.
Yeah.
And one of the first thing is I use it also as a router. It's also a digital router for me, because it has the digital inputs, and I can route different signals from different pieces of gear, either on the analog side or on the digital side. So right now I like using some of its algorithms that are in the mastering package, either the dynamics or the EQs. The EQ, you can get really deep and notch certain frequencies if you want, or add, or cut or boost. There's a great De-Esser in it that I really like, and I think it works really well on a lot of program material. In the terms of the dynamics, there's the famous multi-band dynamics, MD3 and MD4, and they're very versatile. You can use them on so many different types of projects. You don't have to use them, but they're there. So if I feel I need to, I'll just pop them up and the MD3 has also an EQ in it, so I can use a separate EQ as an algorithm of an EQ, or just pop up the MD3 and have an EQ from there too, or an or if I feel that I need from the MD4 as well. Also, there's a limiter, really good limiter. In general, there's so much possibilities with the unit, because you can route it parallel, you can route it MS, you can do a stereo. So it's like it will take you a long time to figure out all the things you can do with it. It's like reading an encyclopedia. It's like every day you can find something new to do with it. So it's very, I really like it. I think the quality of it is great, and the user interface, easy, like really easy.
Yeah, I know that you actually have even 3 of the System 6000.
Yes.
So what do you use 3 System 6000s for?
Well, originally 2 units were combined.
Okay.
And you could use a like a hub, a switcher, and use the same icon to work on 2 units. When you want to do different things and compare, or one is dealing with reverbs and one is dealing with just the dynamics. Yeah. And so 2 of them that I have analog inputs and outputs. The third one is just digital. Okay. So I'm happy to have a few of those. Plus, you know, if something goes down, it's always good to have a spare one. Not that it goes down, but you know, in the event. But yeah, I'm really happy to have them. And icon, I use the icon to control it, even though you can also control it by the computer. There's a way to hook it up to the computer. But the icon is really easy for me to work. You know, just the faders and the touch screen. So it connects good with all the gear I have here. And as you can see, there's quite a lot of gear. So yeah.
And you actually use it all when mastering an album?
Well, I'm not going to hook up every piece of gear for, you know, it's not that I have to have everything connected at once for that specific song or track or album. It's every time I'll check what fits the music best. Okay. It's like finding the natural connection. I'll try a certain EQ. If it fits good, I'll keep it. If it doesn't, I'll change to a different EQ or compressor. So that's why I have a lot of gear, and that's why I have inserts, analog inserts and digital routers, and that I can try different. So
how long time does it take to master a track, like in general, if you can say anything about that?
You know, a funny thing is sometimes people think that because the mix is perfect, it's easy to master it. It's actually a lot of times the opposite. If the mix is so good, you don't want to ruin it. So you want to enhance it in a way that the person will say, "Oh, wow, it's even better than what I got from before." You know, so there's no set of like time. No, I've worked on things that sounded great when I got them, and it took me hours to figure out how to enhance it and not ruin it, and actually make the client say, "Wow, this is really an improvement." And sometimes it was quick. Also, the opposite. I get a horrible mix. I tried what to do to you know what I can do, and sometimes it took me hours. Sometimes it was quick fix. There's no, I don't think there's a set time. Every engineer approaches differently. Some of them have certain pieces of gear that they will like to work all the time, and some like to experiment. I like to experiment, so it might take more time. And I also take the feedback from the client. It's very important for me. Whatever they say, I work with it. I give them. They like it, great. They want changes, we'll work the changes and make it happen. So there's no set of rules, and some stuff sounds great on digital, some stuff sounds great with analog, and some doesn't work with those. And you know, some of them will have to work on a plugin. You know, it's testing.
And you actually have the meter going on here in a second.
I have the radar.
The radar, do you use it, and what do you use it for? I mean, it's a meter, but how does it help you?
Well, you know, we listen with our ears, which is the most important thing, but at the same time, it's good to have a visual representation either levels or how the levels develop in the song. Even though you can see the wave file and you can see how it's developing there, the loudness is it's post processing usually, and I try to see if everything is sitting in a good RMS compared to the peak, if it's not too pushed or too squashed, or sometimes you can notice certain low end frequencies push the compressor or limiter more, even though it's not that loud. And then you figure out, oh, there's too much low end that I need to carve or make it a bit more tighter, where you can see the reaction of the meter. Sometimes it's a movement that is too slow, and you got to figure out, okay, if it's too slow, what's happening there if I don't see enough movement.
Yeah.
So metering is visual representation of something. It doesn't mean that you got to go just by the meter.
No.
You know, if you would just go by the meter, it might not even work. Because even if the two songs show the same readings, it doesn't mean they sound the same. But meters do help figure out levels. So it's a tool.
Maor, we talked about going into details with some of the algorithms in the System 6000, which we're going to now. And so this was an enlightening conversation. And guys, if you want to know more about the different algorithms that Maor is using, check out our YouTube, and you'll find it right there. And we will also have the link in the description of this video. See you.